the man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, so obviously I wasn't happy that he's done this instead of Sherlock 3 because I love the two Sherlock films that Guy Ritchie has done in the past. You know, they're typical of him. And this week I have watched Snatch and Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, which I'd never seen before, which are even more insane. So obviously now I know what he's about. You know, even if I didn't already. But
it's good that you've chosen to skip all the stuff in the middle, like Revolver.
Was that badly received?
I can't remember.
I haven't heard of that. I've recognised the name.
There's been Sherlock was kind of his comeback. He had a spell of doing utter garbage.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Revolver was unusual.
Very
unusual. Or Rock and Roller as well. I forgot about that.
Rock and Roll.
Oh, yeah,
it wasn't too bad, but yeah.
Oh well, but yeah, and I've got a better feel for him now than I did before. Just I'd only seen the Sherlock films from his sting, but now I mean. What he does so well is to do the stylish sort of loud and proud worlds that just they have a very strong aesthetic quality about them. They're more about the feel of the worlds and the characters inside them and the set pieces that they involve, rather than having I mean, they do sometimes have strong stories, but it's more about the sort of the set dressing, to say around them, around the films themselves, than it is actually about the film's sort of essence and the themes and the styles that they go with that.
They're heavily stylized.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like instead of the story, it's more about the characters, you know, and the place, sense of place and style.
Right.
That's the most important part. And fresh off Sherlock 2 in 2011, this is obviously his next project. He's been taking a while from this. And Man from U.N.C.L.E, it was the original series back in 1964. That was the original spy series, and this is the adaptation of that TV series. Was it American?
It was British, and it was Ian Fleming, so it was pretty much Bond on TV.
Because what I've read about it was that they wanted to do like sort of a less serious, sort of more like out there Bond version, like a TV series, like, you know, like doing a bit of a parody. That's what I read. Yeah,
I think they sat down with him, didn't they? And he just flung out loads of ideas. Ian Fleming.
Yeah. But he's done very well here to sort of get that. This has obviously been a 4-year project for him, and I think it has paid off. Yeah, it has for me.
Although it has been in development hell for about 20 years.
What?
The script's been out there for a long. Like it's been on board with various directors. Tarantino was on board at one point. Would you believe?
Oh.
Yeah. There's loads of names been attached, but it's finally actually been done. By Ritchie, and it's been handed to him by Warner Brothers, who I don't know what he's done to get these kind of favours, but Sherlock and Man from U.N.C.L.E. both pretty much handed to him on a plate by the studio.
Well, I mean, I guess that's just off the fact that they wanted someone interesting, you know.
No, I think it's favours. I think they owed him a favour and they gave him some scripts. That's honestly what I've read and I've heard.
Is it? That's interesting to hear, I guess. I mean, but I mean, his films always sort of been on that scale of critically and sort of viewer-wise, they've always been sort of on either end of the spectrum in terms of people either they like them or they just really, really hate them. I know Mark Kermode's not a fan at all of his work. I know certain other reviewers are really critical of his stuff. They're saying that they lack substance in reality, and that's a fair criticism. But that's what they do so well, is that they take that stylized world and the flares that he has, and he makes it work, you know. And The Man from U.N.C.L.E. this time will pick up in 1963 in East Berlin, as we have an ex-con turned leading CIA agent called Napoleon. They all have the same names in the TV series. That's it. So then, but I kind of do want to watch that now. A little bit.
Yeah,
just
a
few
episodes. Might be worth going back and seeing how it matches up.
Yeah. So we pick up in 1963. We're tracking the CIA agent Napoleon Solo, played by Henry Cavill, who's obviously probably.
Are you going Cavill?
Is
this another name?
Is this another thing? Is it? How do you pronounce it? Is it?
See, I think it's Cavill.
Cavill.
I was going with Cavill.
But Robbie Collins said Cavill as well.
Alicia Vikander said Cavill as well.
We'll go with Cavill.
All right. Well, I'll say Cavill. You can say Cavill.
Okay. I've heard Cavill.
I say Cavill.
I say Henry Cavill.
We'll just do our own.
Okay. It really doesn't matter.
But so he's tasked with tracking down a woman named Gabby Teller, who's played by the lovely Alicia Vikander, who's stunning in every way. Well, it's true. Come on. She's a very talented actress.
Yes,
she is. Whose missing father is a Nazi scientist who had worked for the US government, but he's now left the US government and has many secrets involving a sort of nuclear bomb which could threaten the peace between all of the worlds. Obviously, we're in a very dangerous time period.
All of the worlds.
Well, all of the world. In danger, all of the world, because obviously the relations between Russia and the West and the East are on a brinking point, even though we're not exactly in the Cold War period. This is the 60s. But he's as they meet Gabby Teller and Solo, they are pursued by a top KGB agent called, and this is another name I'm probably going to butcher, Ilya Kuryakin. I think that's how they pronounce it in the film.
That's right.
Played by Armie Hammer or Hammer. Hammer.
It's got two M's.
Who I don't recognise from much, but I know he was in that flop for Disney, The Lone Ranger, a while ago.
Social Network.
Social Network, yeah.
Twins, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully he was thinking about getting a better role here, and they do have great chemistry, and obviously Solo and Teller get across the border from the East Berlin Wall and they escape, but however the next day that the boss, played by Jared Harris, who you might remember from Moriarty and Sherlock 2, I guess they like working together, him and Guy Ritchie, but they meet together and they are told that they must work together, America and Russia, so Solo and Kuryakyn together, to find the missing scientist and stop the bomb from being made and save the world. But obviously it's an uneasy alliance because they are mortal enemies and they just fought in Berlin. And it's, I guess that is sort of the main sell of this film. It's because, like, outside of the Guy Ritchie influence, it's more just like the relationship between them two, the strained relationship. It's very much sort of I guess it's a sort of a showing off, like a rooster sort of showing off ceremony where they're just trying to make like the bigger man towards Alicia Vikander's character and sort of be the main man on campus. And they have got a real, they've got a real chemistry. What? You're giving a disapproving look there.
No, it's just campus. It's just a funny scene. Really.
Yeah, well, come on, and you know what I mean. Like, be the big man on campus,
Yeah,
like
I got it. Yeah.
You get what I mean. But yeah,
I get what you mean.
They do have a really good chemistry, Henry Cavill is sort of, he's made his career off playing that sort of confident, sort of brash. I mean, obviously with Superman, you've got that sort of embodiment of male sort of sexuality in that. Like he's obviously like an apex god, and in this he's sort of well, come on, like it's Superman. You've got to be like classy to be. I mean, look, Christopher Reeve back in the day.
Yeah.
They literally cast Brandon Routh in the 2006 Superman just so he looked slightly like Christopher Reeve.
Well, there's a curse. So.
Yeah, exactly. There's a curse, but he plays him with such confidence. He plays Solo with such confidence and brashness that he really does have a fantastic sort of chemistry and bantering with Kuryakyn, and Arnie Hamer finally picking up that he sort of plays the sarcastic type in his Russian character, who's sort of metaphors going over his head, lacking sort of subtlety about anything. He just sort of he's the stereotypical KGB agent.
He does it the Russian way.
Yeah, he just things the Russian way, and he's just attempting to just break people's skulls in and just do things first, ask questions later, which is obviously very much at odds with Solo, who's sort of he's the sly sort of stereotypical spy type. Yeah, and obviously while they are typically character archetypes, it is good to see them play off each other because they have such a natural chemistry. And I have seen criticisms towards their sort of dynamic, but I think it does work because they are such confident, sort of provocative leads in the way that they are really. They work together in that dynamic, and they work especially in that setting. I mean, it's good to see Henry Cavill in something that isn't Superman. I mean, I don't know really what he did before that, but I mean,
I think he was in the Immortals.
The Tudors, the TV series. The Tudors.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I mean, you said last week he's been touted for Bond as well, which is interesting enough.
Both before, when Craig was put in, he was sort of up against Cavill. Whatever, and then again, because of Man from U.N.C.L.E, people are saying, oh, maybe he's still got it, even like 10 years later.
He's still got it.
Got it.
But yeah, I mean, obviously you can definitely see that in this. You can definitely see the influence of Bond in this. It's clearly this could be clearly said maybe as a trial or a test run.
Yeah.
Like I mean, just as Layer Cake was Bond for Daniel Craig, that was his test run.
I mean, he wasn't really doing Bond in Layer Cake, though, was he? Like that's why everyone was kind of surprised when he got the job.
No, but I mean, there's very much moments like there's a scene where he wields a gun that people keep going on about in Layer Cake, which very much is like, yeah, this guy could be Bond. But I mean, they fit so well, that dynamic within the story and within the sense of location, which is probably the best thing about it. It is so stylized, just in that Guy Ritchie way. You've got the visual flourishes, you've got the weird style. There are some really you can tell this is. I mean, with some directors you can't tell sometimes, but you can tell straight off this is this film. You've got those sort of strange camera movements, you've got the sort of quick cuts and the rapid flashes that the Guy Ritchie's made his name off, essentially, and it does work so well in that. I mean, I don't know how slick or stylish the 60s TV series was. I don't know if it was like, I mean, I guess they're trying to keep the essence of that real, but try to make it a more modern spy thriller, in this film, but I really do think it's just a really entertaining film for me. I mean, the criticisms are correct. It says the story is lacking in quite a lot of areas because
very conventional.
It is just so stereotypically like spy. I mean, I guess that's what they were trying to go for, because it is technically a pastiche of the genre.
Yeah, that's why I'm sort of hesitant about complaining about that, because it is homage.
I mean, you've got Elizabeth there's another name, Debicki in there, and her husband playing that sort of the French, the English and the French couple who are they are sort of the ones trying to destroy the world, but they're just playing them sort of the camp roles, and they're not adding much to the plot, and they get
a lot of innuendo
as well. Yeah. And then you've got Hugh Grant in there for a few scenes as their boss, just a few just playing that sort of classic Hugh style, classic M in the Bonds, just trying to in there to throw a spanner in the works.
He'd be an interesting Bond. I know his ship's kind of sailed now, but I don't know.
He'd probably be the most sexualized Bond ever. I couldn't imagine him in an action scene, but Roger Moore, I could imagine.
Well, no, I mean, but it's like what people were saying when Kingsman came out. They were saying about Hugh Grant.
Well, Colin Firth.
I was just talking about
the same
person. They are interchangeable. Yeah.
It'd be good to go back to that sort of older Bond, but I just don't think that's viable because people expect sort of the hard hitting sort of young Craig thing now. But
the grizzled.
I guess he's kind of going for grizzled now, so they probably will accept that better. But
poor Dalton.
That's why Idris Elba will be the perfect continuation.
If they want to keep going down the grizzled route, but I think if they want to kind of take it back to the classic Bond, then I think Cavill. Whatever. If he becomes Bond, I'll learn how to pronounce his name. Alright.
Henry Cavill.
Just call him Henry.
Cavill.
He seems more like the Pierce Brosnan type Bond, mixture of suave as well as kind of. Fighting.
But this is there's so much dynamicism in the fact that this is a film with so much. It has just so much visual flourishes in it that the characters they adapt and survive within this world so well, because you can see that they are clearly of the period, and it is definitely sort of. The way that it's stylized is just so. I am a massive Guy Ritchie fan, especially now I've seen his two biggest films. I can clearly see where he's coming from, and I do like what he's trying to do with it. But the story does really lack in the fact, but it is covered up by the fact that these characters are so likable, especially Alicia Vikander coming in. There's this confident, capable woman. She is very much the third lead character alongside this two, and she's very much sort of the mediator at a lot of the scenes where the initial scenes, especially where they're sort of it's an uneasy alliance at first. And it never really gets sort of not uneasy. Essentially, it never really lessens. They always at odds to each other. But The Man from U.N.C.L.E. for me works best as the fact that it is a pastiche. It is sort of a pastiche and a homage at the same time to the spy genre. It is very lovingly made. You can essentially see the passion that's gone into this, and it is knowing at the point where it's not offensively bad, as in you know what I mean. They could have gone like Austin Powers territory.
Yeah, well,
going full out completely like balls to the wall, going like ultra comedy, but they've got the good mix of being stylishly cool and that confident sort of the Ryan Gosling look about it, and then you've got the it is like, and then you go back and you've just got all this, you've got those innuendos like you were saying from Elizabeth Debicki, and you've got all the horrible lines, and you've got like the scenes where they're trying to deal how to deal with a terrorist while some funny stuff goes in the background. That's a great scene which I won't ruin. And then you've just got this sort of uber confident action scenes like there's the one where in a port, which I won't ruin. That's a great funny scene, and then especially the best action scene in the film is the one with the Dune buggies. That's where the main theme which you've heard in the trailer. You've heard that in the trailer. It is a great soundtrack, and that mixes so well with the sense of place and character, And it's good to see that's when the film's at its most confident, when it's going full on. You know exactly what the characters are, and Guy Ritchie's fully going for it. But it just loses steam again towards the end, because the last action set piece, they basically decided to do a montage instead of showing you exactly what's going on, so it sort of loses pace, I think, because it doesn't really wrap itself around as much as it should, because it sort of seems like, okay, we've done this, now we've got to get the end, now we've got to get resolution for the characters, now we've got to set up us for a sequel, which they do, so they feel like it's obligations towards the story rather than is the sense of place and the feel that they've gone for, so it sort of betrays itself in the end. But really, it's a really good time, and I would definitely recommend going to see it.
Joe, you're still not sure, are you?
I'm still not sure. I mean, I did like a lot of the things in it. I did like the kind of, the gadgets between the Russian and American. I mean, it's weird though. I think that's pretty much all that goes into it, between the obviously the Cold War tension. Not just the gadgets, doesn't really develop anything more than that. But obviously that's probably because Napoleon Solo's not really. I mean, he's a spy, but he doesn't want to be a spy. But I don't know. I mean, a lot of scenes did work. I did like the docking scene. That was very funny. Guy Ritchie's docking scene. Oh God, no. he does well in some moments with the camera. Like you say, and you see stuff going on in the background.
That's
in
what
the
I
foreground.
love the flourishes about that.
Some of the transitions, they're very, very good. Stylishly, it obviously a lot of times he's very overtly stylish, but in this it worked, because obviously that's the 60s cool spy kind of thing. But I think it might have been that like near the end it does lose kind of Pearson.
Focus, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it does have a drive throughout it, but obviously it just, when thinking back to it, it just kind of feels like loads of scenes really just stuck together, and the payoff didn't really work for me.
Yeah.
Like the June buggy scene, it just kind of, there was moments when it went on and on,
Yeah.
it just kind of felt like you're watching like a, I don't know,
A
like
TV
like
series.
like an extreme sports video at
Yeah.
times. That's what it felt like.
Wow.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It was just like a really boring ending set piece, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's I think that might be the thing that's doing it. I don't know, because before that it was fun. It was really fun, but yeah, I don't know. Overall,
Still not sure.
as a full thing, I don't know.
Incomplete.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe some more thought on it, because I haven't really thought about it much after.
We'll probably have a little bit more of a chat about it next week. No, I really liked it. I've been hyped about this for a while. I've said before that it was the film I was most excited for next. I don't know what it is now. Now that this is gone, I don't know what
High
it is.
Rise us.
Spectre.
Probably Spectre, yeah. Yeah, I really liked it. It is heavily stylized, and that's kind of all there is to it. But great performance. I love Alicia Vikander. She just makes my heart melt.
Adorable.
And aside from the fact she's like such a good like dramatic actor, and now sort of cutting her teeth in the comedic roles as well. She the whole like "Do you want to wrestle" scene, like that's in the trailer, but it's very funny. Just in the pajamas, it's brilliant. I will absolutely recommend.
And the dancing scene as well.
Yes,
she's got a great. But I just do think that it's a fantastic time. It's what you expect from Guy Ritchie. It's the adventure and the fun, but it does lose steam towards the end, and the story it's a bit of hodgepodge, I think, and it does seem like scenes put
together. If you want to see overtly cool, go see Man from U.N.C.L.E. If you want to see really good set pieces, Mission Impossible. That's what.
If you had to choose one of the two.
Yeah.
There we go. I think we'll get to Mission Impossible in just a little.